the look ahead for this coming week, uh, note that we have, uh, the 4th is this weekend. Uh, so Friday is going to be considered a holiday. So we have to take note of that. So really, we probably only got like 4 trading days. So if there's going to be any crazy movements, hopefully it's in the beginning of this week. Uh, but this is the outlook. So what's hot right now for me is I'm looking for, you got CHF, JPY. I am looking for obviously this retest right here, right? I'm looking for that retest. We've already had a shift of structure on the H4. So now I am currently waiting on pull back here, shift of structure. Right now we are currently below. So I'm waiting on price to either close above or come to this level here and then give us a rejection candlestick for the buy. USD JPY, I am looking for sales. So I'm also, this is a counter trend trade, but I'm looking for price to retest this area. Uh, we've already had the shift of structure on Friday. So I'm literally just waiting on the market to open back up. So you got your pullback here. We created a new high right here. You got a small pullback, and then you got a shift of structure, right? So the retest, which we're getting, and then we have already our rejection candlestick. Literally, it's already happened. So I'm setting my stop loss above the high and looking for anywhere from a 2 to 1 to a 3 to 1. CAD Chef is another one that we are looking for buys on. We are currently, this is another uh, counter trend trade. We are currently in a downtrend, but notice price is above the level on the daily. We are, above the level on the weekly, and we are now in an H4 uptrend. So what I'm waiting on is for price to either break above and retest, or for price to come down to this level, give us a rejection candlestick, and head to the upside. Uh, and then Euro CAD, this is another one that I'm looking for a buy, but this is trading with the trend on this one, trading with the daily. And I think, let's look at the weekly. Yeah, so the weekly, I have it marked, but the weekly is also now in an uptrend. So there's that. So weekly uptrend. The week has closed above. The daily is below, right? So what we currently need is for the daily candles to close above the level, retest, which is what we need essentially. Retest before we're able to buy, right? So this is the move that we need on the daily and the H4. My pairs that could have a potential retracement. So this would be essentially a counter trend trade. This may be a minor level, a very small level with inside of here, right there. So it's on here, but it may not be something that will be traded. I need to look into this one a little bit more because that may not be a level there. No, I'm not going to count that as a level. Anyway, so what I would be looking at is for price to close. We've closed above on the weekly, but notice we are in a weekly uptrend. So we're retesting this area. The daily is retesting. We're within inside the zone. So I think if we get a shift of structure, if we get this move here, the shift of structure on the H4, then that would also put the daily above, retest, buy. GBP AUD is essentially in a weekly downtrend, but a daily uptrend. Um, so it would be a counter trend trade on the daily, but we're trading with the trend on the weekly. So this, obviously can go either way, but what we're looking for is to price to fall back with inside of the zone, retest, fall, ship the structure on the H4. NZD CAD, we are looking for a counter trend trade on the daily, but a weekly uptrend. Let me make sure that's still valid. Yes, so that's still valid for essentially a weekly uptrend. So essentially, we're waiting on the same thing. We're waiting on price to close back with inside the zone, retest, and head to the upside. So that's what I'm looking at. So I want to, before I get off here real quick, I want to show you these past couple weeks for myself have not been as successful as I would have liked, and it's only because of the emotion that I had traded with, not necessarily a bad emotion, the emotion of being overconfident and not analyzing everything to a T, not staying locked in on that level, right? So NZD Chef, because this zone right here was not a zone originally. The only zone was up here. I didn't have that as a zone. So I overlooked the market because I assumed all my zones were correct rather than, taking the initiative to make sure the zone was correct. So my daily zone was not correct. So every single time I tried to sell this, and note it shows 1, 2, 3 entries over the past 2 weeks. I've tried to sell this or buy this. Buy this 5 or 6 different times, and every time I got stopped out, and I couldn't figure out why. So I was overconfident in my strategy rather than looking and actually analyzing it and taking the time. I wasn't getting up at the 5:30 mark. Like, I just lost the discipline because, my strategy's working. Now I no longer need to go hard. Well, that's obviously not the case. And I lost focus. And you can see the reason why I've had multiple losing weeks. I would have never sold this. Not alone to never sell it one time. I had the nerve to sell it 6 times and lose 6 times in a row. That is what you call essentially revenge trading. In this situation, I wasn't necessarily revenge trading. I was just too confident. So that is, the problem with this situation. But I thought that was very valuable. Just because you have a strategy doesn't mean that your strategy can't fail if you're overconfident.